Trial Tuesday with attorney David Ayler, and today we're talking about car accidents and what to do if you're a passenger and you're injured. Wow. Hopefully first you'll get some care.
Right, you want to get medical treatment immediately. But this can be sometimes an awkward situation because you're the passenger in your car, you know, the driver is probably a friend or a family member and you've been injured. Well, if you've been injured and the vehicle that you're driving is not found at fault, then it's pretty easy to understand that the person responsible for your injuries is going to be the driver of the other vehicle.
Right. Let's take it a little bit further.
Right.
Yeah. What if the driver of the car that you're in, he's at fault?
Yeah.
You're good friends. Been friends for a long time.
Right.
Wow.
You still have those injuries, though. You still have those medical bills. So therefore, that's going to be the person that you're going to have to go to. And not so much the person, but their insurance company.
Sure.
You know, its bottom line is you're either going to have to bring it against your own insurance, which is not the right idea. You're going to have to bring it against them. And people will come to us a lot at my office and say, well, you know, I don't want to sue John, Tom, Bill.
It's been my friend for years.
Exactly.
Part of the family.
You know, they didn't mean to do it. It was an accident, but you may have to have surgery. What you have to understand, it's not usually going to turn into some drag-out lawsuit. They have insurance for a reason. So your claim is going to be brought against their insurance. More than likely than not, there'll never be any type of litigation to come from it. It'll be something that settles. But it's going to be handled no different than if it was the driver of the other vehicle. You want to, of course, seek that medical treatment. You want to, of course, get a copy of the FR10, the accident report. All those things are still going to be very important. Statements being made to the insurance company. Statements by you, by the driver of the other vehicle, by the driver of the vehicle you're in. All the same factors are in there and at play. Because the bottom line, no matter who's at fault, no matter which driver it is, one thing's for sure, you as a passenger are not at fault.
Yeah, and again, you've got if you have some of those injuries that are going on, right, they may be injuries that can be taken care of today, this week, this month, but they may be injuries that will later, 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road as you get older, you know, say you've got a little bit of a hurt back right now. Well, you know, you're 25 years old, you're doing okay because you got a strong back. But once you get 50, 60, 70 years old, that injury starts to multiply and there's got to be possibly some compensation that's there.
Right, and then you bring up another good point, particularly because it was my friend driving. I didn't really even want to go see the doctor. I didn't want to go to the hospital, and they do nothing. 6 weeks down the road, they find out there's a tear, whether it be a tendon, you know, something like, you know, it's going to be very difficult to even go back then and try to bring it against the driver's insurance because you didn't even try to start the process early on. They're going to see that gap in time period and say there's 100 different ways that you may have injured yourself, and we're not even going to be able, they're going to deny liability. So you have to be very careful about that as well.
And one thing that we talk about constantly when we have your segment right here is documentation. Have documentation that's available. Get copies of it. If you give that information to someone, make sure it's a copy. You keep the original, but documentation is extremely important.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember one thing, if they're your friend, they shouldn't want you to be injured, and they should want you to get recovery from it. And if their insurance goes up, that's just the fault of the accident, and you know, that's the way it's going to go.
If they don't like it and all that and things are going awry, then probably don't even be your friend.
And if it's your girlfriend or boyfriend and you break up, maybe you shouldn't have been dating anyway.
Always a pleasure. What is that number we can get a hold of you?
577-5530.
All right, David, thank you so much for being here with us. We got more coming up in just a moment. Stay with us.